And then what about David Chappelle? You say that's not the same person that you used to know. So do you want to get, I don't mind getting into it. Do you think it's some MK Ultra celebrity playing his role? Do you think there's something deeper there? Do you think it's a clone? Do you, like what, I mean, dude, it's clearly not the same person.
It's I almost feel like I'll just say this. This is all I know. This is all I know. This is the God's honest truth. This is all I know.
Jim Breuer.
Jim
Jim
Breuer.
Breuer. Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer.
All right. What's up, Mike?
What's happening, man?
I'm doing good. You know, I don't know if it's a midlife crisis or it's not a midlife. I keep saying that as an excuse, but
Yeah.
so no, I'm excited. I'm at that age where the kids are out or almost out. That's another whole thing. And when I should ask our guest today what he thinks of it too. When I was young, the music was very important, and when I followed music, it was first the music attracted me, but then the lyrics are what kept me. And when I was young, I didn't say young. I mean, I guess I was like 16, 17. There was, you're trying to figure out your life, and all of a sudden, boom, Judas Priest comes out with "You've Got Another Thing Coming," and I don't know who I am. I got a denim jacket. Now I'm full blown priest. I'm painting on the back. I'm like electric guy, and they're talking about basically the book 1984, but in the late 70s, early 80s. Here's this guy singing about being watched 24/7 and the power of the eye in the sky. And then there was this other stuff like the realms of death. So it started going into all this other stuff that I was fascinated by. And, people came out, he's gay. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. This has energized me. The song Rapid Fire, I use in my head, I use this song Rapid Fire as if it's the revolution of today, where I'm like, before we go into battle, turn on Rapid Fire by Priest. And it's just that one line of blasting the cannons of truth to all men on earth. I'm like, you don't understand what he's saying. I can feel it. So anyway, long story short, and I got to know Judas Priest a little bit through the years, and so after Las Vegas trip, which I'm looking forward to, I got a lot of friends coming there, and we enjoy life. My wife's coming.
That's gonna be awesome.
I'm super excited and blessed that she's coming, and this is another thing I want to talk to my guy. He's got, I'm so excited why I'm on today. You guys have no clue. You have no clue how excited I am. Well, Mike, you do, because I've been.
Dude, you've been raving about this, dude, man. I love seeing you this excited. It's awesome.
I know. Well, and I would play his clips, and all of you would be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, I don't know all of it, but I want to know more. Like, I want to reach out. I want to, how do you get from, it's like meatballs, all ball, creatives, Illuminati, it's from the creative. I'm like, oh, how do you get from meatball to the, I got to talk to this guy. Because I'm in there. I'm laced into it. And I'm like, shh, I'm reading this guy's energy. I love it. So with that said, I moved to Florida, met a buddy, he's a big Priest fan. Would not imagine seeing this guy thinking he likes Judas Priest. So I'm like, you know what? Judas Priest going on tour. Let's go see them. I love them. So we're flying to Germany. Why Germany? I'm like, why not? I got some cash. We're going to fly to Germany, just me and him. I got my Priest jacket from high school. No one knows who Jim Breuer is in Germany. At least I don't think so. And I'm gonna be in the second, third row, just looking at the other fans like, are you in this or what are we doing? Like, I am gonna show. Germany don't know what's going down when Breuer shows up for the Priest con. I've been looking. It's the first time I'm a child again. I've been looking at their set list every night, like, oh my God, they're doing Metal Gods. They're doing Rapid Fire, Beyond the Realms of Death. Yeah, my God, I can't wait to land in Dusseldorf, Germany. And there's no wives going, yeah, maybe it was shh. Why do you shh? None of that. I don't care who's doing this. Like, hey, Jim, can I? It's gonna be none of that. It's gonna be me. I'm sure there's gonna be YouTube videos, and I don't care. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. So, with that said, I'm super excited about that. Going to see Priest, Judas Priest in Germany. Those that was my battle call as a kid. You got another thing coming. I mean, that was the beginning. That was it. I was off and running. So now brings me to where we are now, why I'm excited. So I consider myself extremely deep and spiritual. That's who I am at my core. I still, I talk about it on stage. My wife found Jesus, saved our marriage. I'm a spiritual guy, and I through death and whatever we talked about on the show. I mean, multiple things. Everything has a spirit. That's why I like the band System of a Down. One of my favorite songs is Science. Science has failed the world. Spirit moves through all things. Spirit moves through all things. Spirit moves through all things. That band, God, I'm so bummed they stopped. They had incredible rage, real rage against the system or slavery, which I call we're still slaved. I don't care how free you think you are. You're slaved. That's why I go to Africa. That's why I go to Tanzania. When you see real natural tribe, you come back and you see a guy dropping a deuce in the street, and this one's here, and they're at the Roman Empire, like, the Super Bowl, and I'm going to in 3 more weeks. You're like, oh my God, nobody knows. Nobody knows. They're all under control. It's mind-boggling. The hand over the eye, the things. The hardest thing for me, which I give my wife a lot, I give all the credit to my wife. I was addicted. I wanted to be a star. I wanted leather pants and a kangaroo. That was walk through the mall with leather pants, kangaroos, and people like, that guy is huge. He's huge. He's a star. Michael Jackson wasn't going to have anything on me. Eddie Murphy, leather pants, forget the monkey, kangaroo. Nobody's got it.
Why a kangaroo?
Because no one's got one.
Okay.
They get lion. First I wanted a tiger, but not a regular tiger. I wanted a white tiger. That's the star. That's the whore. The pimp is, come on, Jim, you want to? And I might have been this close. And thank Almighty God. Thank Almighty God. A billion times I sat and I asked him, and he'd always tell me, he's like, Jim, and I'm like, yeah, I know what you're telling me, but you really just let me do this, and then I'll come, and then we'll figure this out. There's so many examples that I always said when I die, or I should say when I pass on to the next energy level, wherever we're going, I'm going to give the biggest hugs to my guardian angels and just apologize. I want to catch a buzz and I'm like, hey man, I am so sorry. Cause I know I exhausted all of you, especially you. I wiped your ass right out. I know. I almost drank myself to. I remember. Thank you. And whoo. I don't know what they're gonna be like or what the energy is gonna be like, but I know when I see them, I'm gonna like, I am so sorry and so thankful you had me for so long. And then when I went through the SNL years, that's when my eyes went boom. Because to have such deep spirituality and moral upbringing, one for all for one, do the right thing, look after each other. I grew up on a street where we were all different ages. We were all different. I was hanging out with kids 6 years younger than me. You think about it now, that's freaky. But no, it was like we were all brothers. We still are. Like we all looked after each other, And society has lost that completely. That's a family. That's a village. And so thank God, the SNL years, and I know I've talked about this before, but it was my wife. She's like, Jim, quit. I'm like, are you seriously? Something wrong with you? She's like, look at you. You're miserable. You're getting high every day. You're angry all that. You said you didn't care what your job was or how much you got paid. You would never allow your spirit and your life to be destroyed. Look at you. Look at you. Thank God she was that level. However, I think there's a lot of people, not just Hollywood, not just sports stars. We live in a society that is what's glorified. I always laughed like one nation under God. What God are you talking about exactly? Can you explain what God you mean when you say one nation under God? Because I'm not sure it's the God of the illusion you're putting out there. Because the God I see is, let's see, lust, money, power, ego, vanity, lying, deceit. That's every television show. That's every television show that we sit there and watch. That's every, quote, reality show. Who's going to bang who hates who's deceiving who, how much money they get for a sex tape. Pornography was created by the monsters to destroy another part of humanity. When you're a child, your innocence is completely destroyed, and the demons got you. That's my honest feeling why so many kids are confused, why so many people, their sexuality is destroyed, why their relationship, because you get addicted, because that's addicting. The stuff that when you see as a child, that's you're like, hey, playing kickball, enjoying life. Have you seen this tape? Whoa. If your first vision is someone's hair getting pulled, and like, think of that's legal rape. Think of how sick and twisted that is. So there's a lot of layers of life here that I understand, that have been frustrating. I've been very alone for a long time, and feared putting out there, because you have a following, and the following's and finally, thank God for COVID. It finally, I was like, I don't care now. I'm fearless, because we don't have time. We have time. So through that time period, I would go through social media and I would see certain people that I felt were really hitting upon something that could potentially be helpful towards humanity. And there was a lot out there. There was a lot. I've learned a lot, and I still keep learning a lot. However, one of them I would come across, and it was always, I think it was Truth Test. It was 777 Truth Test. And I'd see this kid come on. I call him a kid. He looks like a kid to me. He'd come on, and he would, I I knew he knew what he was talking about, but he would do it in a manner of like, whoa, like me trying to explain a baseball game to so, my wife like, so tell me the game. Like, oh my, one batter comes up. You either get a ball or a strike. What's a strike? A strike. It comes down. It a strike. If it's in this area, it's a strike. What if they hit it in a foul? Then it's a strike. How many strikes? 3. But what if they hit the foul ball? Why aren't they out? Because it's a foul ball. But you says 3 strikes. Oh my God. And then there's walking. And then you go to first base. And then what it's like, how do you not? It's a pop fly. And that's the way he would explain it. And I'd go, oh my God, he's going way too fast for him. He's way too, what is this? And I'd meet friends that go like I'm starting to learn new numerology. And now I'm learning from the internet words and the spells of words that humanity has no clue, which makes all the sense in the world. And then you think, wow, did we lose an entire language that is hidden? I think so. I know so. So with that said, it's this is one of those guys. His name is Sasha. On TikTok, it's 777 Truth Test. Please welcome Sasha. Dude, you don't know.
What up?
First, I can't believe you're 33. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought you were like 22.
I appreciate it.
And I'm like, he's in his 30s. He's married. He got kids. Oh, wow. Did not see that coming. I have a lot of, I don't even know where to begin. I'll begin by saying thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm super humbled, man. I really, truly am. Thank you for noticing me, and thank you for caring enough to have me on here, man. You have no idea.
Oh no, you don't have an idea. I've been following you, and I want to learn. I want to learn what you know so bad, and I don't even know where to start. I really don't even know.
Anywhere, man. Use your heart. Anything you want. Let's go. Anything, however you want to do it.
So when you speak, you does your knowledge come from? What did you learn to get where you understand this whole different language, like Saturn? You know what? Yeah, we'll start with that, and then I'll get into videos and stuff. Like,
it's as honest as knowing thyself. Know thyself, you will know everything else. Know to everything else. It means that everything is inside. That's in sight. There's no other vision. We are living in the vision, God's vision, and we are a vision in the vision, in vision. So it's just about connecting to thyself and knowing yourself. Why do you do the certain things you do? Why are you, it's rhetorical, but why would you do the certain things you do? Why are you in tune with the certain things you are in tune? You have a personality, and just being in tune with you is the most perfect vision that you can be for God.
So do you feel your purpose, your main purpose in life is to enlighten or wake up others, or just yourself?
Me finding myself is enlightening everybody else if they allow it.
I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that. And so, okay, so you didn't take any classes or anything, because there's no way I shouldn't say no way. Strike that. I should never say no way. But what blows me away is like when you go from Saturn, it is Satan, it is this, it is that, it come Chrome, Om. How, when do you first, you didn't take any classes, you just sat there and figured out, or
No, there's
how do you come to that
we all
conclusion?
learn from each other. There's a guy named Santos Bonacci, and I had come across one of his videos, and he's a master of language. He can interpret religion and give you the real insight to it. So I had studied a couple of videos from Santos Bonacci, Mr. Astrology on YouTube, and he had taught me something I've never learned before. It's called etymology, which is the root of all words. I love words already. I'm a poet. So etymology is the root of all words. Adam in Hebrew, Adama means child of red earth. It's the root. So Apollo is Greece. This is Greek. This would be Apollo. Apple is low, hence where you get your Adam's apple. So every single
Right.
thing ties into each other. So if it's etymology, it's how I pronounce the words, hence pronouns. So that's Phoenix. This is where it gets confusing for not only you, for everybody, because the people in power are using, like you said earlier when you were speaking, we speak another language. We used to come from a place where we spoke a language telepathically, to telepath. Now we are uttering sentences that people have manipulated prehand. So the things we say are coming from people who do not have the best interest for us. So
I totally relate to that, because I do know without a doubt we can communicate telepathically. And I do know, and when I really go, Sasha, when I go deep inside, it's all I see it all.
thanks.
But it's so overwhelming at times
It can be.
that no one else understands it. And you have no one. It's almost discovering something that is so amazing and also so frightening, in my opinion, at the same time. That once you feel it, and once you see it, once you know it, it's so hard to explain because nobody knows, and you realize how long ago, who started. Let me ask you this,
Sure.
all right, on a different note.
Sure.
My big question in life has always been this: like, how did we go from who, or should I say this? Who do you think were the first beings to take that away from us and do everything in their power to manipulate us into this other slavery, these other words, these other, we need to wake up, we need to go to school, you need to dress, you need to do that. Where
every single thing, and this will be hard for people to understand. You can ask me questions. Every single thing in a physical reality, whether a parallel universe, it doesn't matter how far you want to go in space and time. If it's governed by anything time, that's Saturn, Satan. If it's not Satan or Saturn, it's another word they're using. It's just time. Time consumes everything. I don't care about nobody's opinion. After time, you have a spirit. The spirit lives forever. That's God. So everything that's physical came from fallen angels, point blank, period. So we are created from fallen angels. There's a hierarchy that they came from, and they physically cut off a DNA strand to fall down. It's not like they're up or down. It's within. So there's no directions. They've cut off a DNA strand. They have literally fallen, but there's no other words to describe. They have appeared into another realm. They have created everything that everybody sees physically. If it has to do with physical, this is where I love words. So it's physical. That's physics. Sick. That's your psych. You have a psych, that means you're sick. So this is what I'm saying. These are people, these are entities that knew this stuff from the beginning. There's no way that humans are sitting out here conducting all of this information and putting all of this together. They're fallen angels. We perceive them as entities, demons. Hence where you get demons. They're on each side of the ear wings. When you demonstrate, demon straight. That's what you were describing, finding your innerness in a world filled with light and a world filled with dark. You don't want to be loving light. There's no balance. You don't want to be loving dark. There's no balance. So when you conduct those and you bring them together to get here, that's where you get these symbols. That's where you get everything. It's just a connect from within. I identify that fallen angels created everything, but God created, this is where I lose people because of the language structure. It's kind of contradictive. They created everything physical. God created everything. There's no name for God. We'll never be able to understand God like that unless we understand ourselves. By understanding ourselves, we understand the creation that's already there. But to be born physical, to be born in this reality, fallen angels made that happen. Our spirit came from God. Our spirit lives forever, indefinitely, no matter what. Our spirit never dies. For 100 billion, trillion, million years, you will always live forever. But in physical realms where we incarnate and reincarnate, we are playing by their rules.
Now when you say there, no, it's two things.
Sure.
One thing I want to add to your time, which I think is, I've been trying to tell some people this, and it's a healing pattern. We use time. Forget like work and this. Well, we'll take a death.
Sure.
Someone passes along.
Yeah.
And I remember someone asked me, "Hey man, when'd your father pass?" And I went, "I honestly don't know." And they're like, "How do you not know the date?" And I said, "Why would I?" And that was one of my first discoveries of how time enslaves us. And what I mean by that is, and religions and so many people do. It's like, okay, so if dad or someone you love dies right here, whatever today is, I don't know, March, we'll say June 1st. The love of your life died.
Yeah.
You went through all the emotions, and you're always going to go through the emotions. The spirit of everything is going to go through right then and there. All right. Why would you mark that date down and then wait all year to put all your energy into that sorrow when you already did it? And I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but it's like, it's moved on in life. Life is, it's infinity.
Let go or be dragged.
Correct. And it blows my mind with something like Christmas, even certain holidays where we're all spending all this energy.
Or even Father's Day or Mother's Day. I was taught from a young kid early on. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "What are you doing today?" I said, "I'm hanging out with my dad. It's Father's Day." He says, "You don't hang out with your dad on every other day?" I do. He goes, "Then every day's Father's Day." And that's when it hit. Every day's Mother's Day.
It hit me.
Every day is Christmas. Every day is another day to live life.
And that's what I discovered a while ago. Even when we were married, my wife and I were married, and Valentine's Day was one of our first. Like, why do we go crazy? Like, I feel like we had Valentine's Day 2 days ago. We had the greatest day.
Yeah.
We had and then once you discover that all these dates are really just a either a money or a bizarre
no, you nailed it.
Cult.
You nailed it. Money and time distraction. Take both of those and you nailed it.
Exactly. So once I'm past that realm, now I'm trying to discover all the words. And I've seen some guys, I don't know their names. I'm going to have to look at the guy that you're talking about, and we'll find him. Maybe you could put a link.
Oh, Santos Bonacci. Like, yeah, I definitely will.
Yeah. I'd love to. And I guarantee you, Mike, Shaka knows all about him. I guarantee you. My buddy Shaka was talking like this a long time ago. I'm like, wow, what are you talking about? And I don't like saying talking like this. I shouldn't say that. I should say he was more in the know of certain knowledge that I didn't know.
Sure.
So
go ahead. I got a question. I got stuff for you too. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Cool. Go ahead. I mean, I'm curious about your side of things, man. I'm not in Hollywood. I haven't been in Hollywood like that. Like, I'm a professional gamer. I do things like on a weird level like that, but I'm not in the game. So to me, I don't understand. Like, to me, it seems in a lot of our community, it appears to be like, if you're part of Hollywood, you're in it. And I know, honestly, like I do understand you. Like you can be a premiere, you can just show up, you can have connections, and have nothing to do about selling out or anything. I get that, but I do also understand, and I've come to know that you get to a certain level of hierarchy, if you will, in Hollywood, and you're starting to be promoted more and more. So I just have a question: how could you get on somewhere like SNL? How can you do a movie like with David Chappelle and not be in the game? That's the part that I don't get.
Okay. First of all, the lead up to SNL was I started as a stand-up comedian.
Sure.
I control my destination. I'm doing stand-up comedy.
Facts.
The stand-up comedy led to, then you got to get an agent, imagine all this stuff.
Right. Right.
And I don't know what they are, handlers, whatever you want to call them.
Sure.
But so that led to, I had some shows in the works. Me and Dave Chappelle had a show that they moved us into, where we were going to be on Home Improvement. We were on the show Home Improvement with Tim Allen, and then we were going to spin off, and it was going to be me and Dave Chappelle in this really corny show called Buddies. He's black and I'm white. I'm a computer guy. And I talk this. And my mother-in-law is really racist. Hey, Dave, you ate chicken today? Wow. Wow. So I got fired from it. Mm-hmm. And this is part of what I was talking about, the spirituality.
Right.
I knew the minute I got that show, I was so captivated by the Hollywood scene, because this is what you want.
Right.
This is what you want to be. There's so-and-so. Oh my God. And then when you come to town and you're the new cat, and I was young, me and Dave were young, and now they're like, you're meeting people you never knew was possible meeting. And I knew right out of the gate, my marriage, we weren't married long, but to me, that was a whole God thing. Everything's a God thing in how I see it.
Good. Awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And I knew I was in serious trouble. And I talked to guys like, God, my marriage is not going to last. Like, I need you somehow. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I need to be saved, and I need you to save our marriage somehow. And I didn't do anything, thank God, but I was there.
Right.
I was right on the cliff. I already committed. I'll do a dual life, just like they all do. Oh, this guy's hitting this one and that one and that one, and this one does that. But at home, he has this little, and dude, I think it was a day later, I got fired from the show. And to this day, no one knows. No one really gave an explanation. And I can honestly say, as at that time, people like, your commercials are on the air. Like, you've already filled the episode. What do you like? People will recognize me from the commercials.
Right.
I flew my friends out so we could be there for the debut. And when you're on the cover of Hollywood Reporter, blah, 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 and all of a sudden, boom, pulled out from under you out of nowhere, on my life, as God is my witness, the first thought I had was, wow, thank you. I didn't see it like that. I didn't see that coming, but wow, I was humbled. There was no, hey, I didn't ask to be fired. He's like, you said save your marriage.
Right. Pick one, choose one. Right. Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean,
and then go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
And then once SNL came, I could not believe the stars that would come in and what the public had no clue. That is the first time I saw where you have the public persona of all your favorite stars. Oh my God, this one's the greatest, and that one's the greatest, and this one's the greatest. This one. And then you see behind the curtain,
Right.
and you're like, oh wow, this is nothing how I was brought up. This is not how I grew up. This is not. Whoa, morals are just
Right.
thrown out the window. Everything's thrown out the window so one can get better than the other, and they'll do anything to get better. And then not only that, what I saw was nobody cares because there's a billion people they're gonna put to the forefront to become a star. And I watch it over
Nice.
and over and I go, oh, I hope this one's going to be all right. They got this one. It's only a matter of time before we see something with this one. And I saw how they become drug addicts and no one cares. Just get the job done. Let us get our money. And we don't care if you kill yourself.
Facts.
We don't care if you OD.
Facts.
We don't care. I collected my 10. He collected his 20. He collected his $1 billion.
Industry. Yep.
And that was one of the most, I will use the word, and I try not to cry, traumatizing things I ever witnessed in my human existence. It was traumatizing. And that's when I started seeing like, well.
And imagine, Jim, you started at the age you did. Imagine these people that started in Nickelodeon and in Disney at age 5, 6, 7.
And what I would see, Sasha, is the children that would come into SNL as just extras.
Yeah.
And their parents.
What parents? Yeah.
But I see it. Their parents, but even our society makes you think that is where you want to be.
Yeah.
And here's my child. I don't care if I'm not around them. Take their shirt off.
Yeah.
Put them in a sexy outfit.
Facts.
Give them whatever drugs they need to learn the lines so I could be part of this.
Exactly.
I'm now important.
Exactly.
And that was horrifying to witness and just see what my own two eyes. The little kid getting groomed and his hair's cut and the little kid talking and speaking a certain way so he can be. It was. So that was and I gotta say, Dave Chappelle, the Dave Chappelle I knew,
Right.
he was an incredible mentor and human being to be around. Because when we started filming Half Baked, what I learned more was not the movie and all that. That's nothing. The long conversations and deep spiritual, who controls the world? Why are agents in the industry called agents?
Right.
And why are they all from a certain descent? Why? And there's nothing wrong. They were just questions like, that is interesting. Why do they all? Yeah.
And it's all white male bravado.
Correct. And so that is when it really started. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I still struggled with it for years. Like I still kind of, when I finally let go is after probably my the birth of my second child, where I was like, I really don't. My kids are not gonna be around forever. I'm not gonna be able to be a dad to a younger child forever. You're always a father your whole life.
Yes.
But that was the real eye opener. And
do you get pressured from handlers or a third party in any shape, way, or form to not say or anything?
No. The only like I've learned to tap dance around YouTube.
Right.
Which I really think you should hit many, many, many platforms.
Right.
Especially right here. So, and the reason I say that is because they allow it all. They allow it all. They've been great to me, but they're not allowing everything.
No.
They're not going to allow. So when I say, have I been pressured? Not at all. I don't live by anyone's standard. I don't allow anyone to go, hey man, I wouldn't say that. I don't.
Right.
It's just,
And then
who are you?
And then what about David
What?
Chappelle? You say that's not the same person that you used to know. So do you want to get, I don't, and then what about David Chappelle? You say that's not the same person that you used to know. So do you want to get, I don't mind getting into it. Do you think it's some MK Ultra celebrity playing his role? Do you think there's something deeper there? Do you think it's a clone? Do you, like what, I mean, dude, it's clearly not the same person.
It's, I almost feel that I'll just say this. This is all I know. This is all I know. This is the God's honest truth. This is all I know. I know that Dave, that when Dave was visited, and that's up for him to tell that story. And that was my first real, like, what do you mean you were visited? And nobody talks about that. Everyone thinks he just ran away to Africa. And, the man was offered $50 million and he walked away.
He came back with seven Netflix series. And he's promoting. He just had another person on Netflix that I forget his name. Doesn't matter. He just had a new Netflix, and it was sponsored by Dave. That means David Chappelle sponsored the last 3 of these comedians that I've seen on Netflix. So someone who walked away from a deal on Oprah's show, which I'm all about all of that, but then comes back and gets all of this. That's a different person.
I can't.
And then last thing, and then one more thing I want to add from the person that I remember watching. What was that David Chappelle show? And I remember honestly an actual quote he said. I'll paraphrase is that, and he was joking like he always does. And this when it was skinny David, and he was saying that the government, from the same government that engineered crack and HIV. This is David Chappelle who was saying that. How long ago? That was probably 15, 16, 17 years ago. Maybe even maybe longer. To the person that he is now. That's why I ask, man. That was the part that made me weary to go on here. Like I don't trust nobody at no time because I know what Hollywood has done. I know what they do, and it's everything you're confirming, And that's the reason why I've been blackballed and shadow banned and censored the way that I am is because I don't know. You must know Tupac. I'm just like him. I got a big voice. I got a loud mouth, and I don't care. You can kill me right now. You can say, look, you can't see your kids ever again. I'm going to kill you if you talk. I'm going to talk.
No, I don't know Tupac. Oh shit.
You know of Tupac.
He was on. Of course I do.
That's what I
met him on.
That's
SNL.
what I meant.
Yeah. With the Dave thing, I'd be a blatant liar if I were to say 100% that's him.
Okay, perfect.
Because our communication ended. And when I say he stopped communicating with me at when he came back. When I say came back, I'm not talking about from Africa because the first thing he did was go on Oprah, which I find fascinating. And I highly suggest people really watch that interview intently. And I sobbed. I fucking sobbed. Because I hope it's him. But I will say when he came back bigger.
Yep.
And I thought, all right, maybe he did steroids. Maybe he worked out like crazy. I know he was very self-conscious being skinny his whole life. And our communication ended. Now, I had a bizarre FaceTime thing, which, again, I think is very sketch. Even the person that, there was this, I'll just leave it this. I don't know. For me to say.
That's all I needed to know, to be honest. So we on the same page, bro. That's all I needed to know.
Okay. And then there's certain people where, like, I think are, oh my God, they conquered it all and they're coming back. And
It's
then
just
here, like, I'll show you.
those are just
Yeah.
fallen angels, bro. That this is their. That's why, like, you get Native Americans that they get very pride, full of pride. You get Mesopotamian people who think it's all about Mesopotamia. I've done this on social media. I get hundreds of thousands. I do it all the time. People who are dark skinned think everything comes from dark skin. People who are in this tribe think it's everything. No, we come from a place called Lemuria, and then you get Samaria. So we used to literally, physically be green and blue skin. Everything has been changed. Literally, we used to have trees of life that literally connected all around the firmament. Go ahead, ask me.
No, play this video. This is, you open my eyes to this part. Mike, play this video.
Glory be to God. There's over 200 of these trees of life that literally touch the top of the firmament. They're not volcanoes. This isn't my first rodeo. They have a root system. They aren't trees that would look like that. These are on a whole nother level. And yes, there's a root system underneath the devil's tower. Tower, 2 wards, Magdala, woman of Magdala. So again, this is not my first rodeo. I don't want to hear how they took samples from the devil's tower. It's rock. Dude, it's called petrified. They got scarred, scared, turned into stone. It's not stone, it's petrified wood. Knock on wood, Hollywood, Woden's Day.
That's it. The trees of life that we used to have that they cut down. And this is the fallen angels. They, listen, if you would understand that you are in hell and you're in heaven, you have to make the best out of understanding that you're in hell and heaven. That's the whole point. They are doing this to us, but we are allowing it. Yes, we allowed those trees to be cut down. We did. All of us as people. We can't just sit back and not take responsibility. The ability to respond, being ignorant, ignoring. That's what we do as a human race. We come from one tribe. You win a race, one race. We come from one tribe, one race. It wasn't black skin, wasn't light. And both of those tribes existed at the same time. But what happens through mankind is that the frequency drops. Like I said, from speaking telepathically, literally to telepath, to being connected to the trees of life that gave us our nourishment. We were in an alkalinity. We had H3O2, which was the dew. H3O2 is the water. You want natural water from vegetation, from fruit and vegetables. So you didn't want to drink water like water. You didn't need that. You got all of that from the dew, which came from the natural vegetation off the natural trees of life that God already provided. That's just the nature. It's just the way that it is. So there used to be bark on the tree. We used to be connected to the bark. We used to physically take the bark. And all of this is studied in cultures like Australia. They have ABBA originals. That's your Orions, your origins.
Yes, I learned from that. Yes,
Yeah.
I learned from them.
So
Go
the
ahead.
bark on the tree, hence don't bark up the wrong side of the tree. Dog is D-O-G, G-O-D. It's dog, it's God, it's Dog Star Sirius. So anyways, we used to take this bark and it had DMT in it. DMT is dream time. Dream is madre. That's an anagram. I just rearrange a letter to make another word. So dream is madre, that's mother. Time is Saturn, Satan. So we come from a dream time constellation. This is why I throw up all these signals and signs. It's just whitefish, black eye, whitefish, black eye to walk the middle, the Tao, the Tav, the T. We used to take the bark on the tree and we used to literally be in a dream. So that's why all the animals we were connected with, we used to speak with them. We used to speak with the trees. It's just like when you do take mushroom or mycelium or some hallucinogenic or ayahuasca, you take these things and you're connected to what is already there. It's not like you're making it up. You're not in tune. So when you no longer take mushroom, you're off of the tune. That still exists, but we don't operate at that frequency anymore.
Wow. See that? All right. See, now I used to feel guilty saying this, and I said on this show too, and I want to tell my kids this too. It's like, I don't have the desire to go take mushrooms all the time. However, the time I took it, I was in the wilderness.
Perfect.
Sasha, I say to this day, and all my friends laugh. I'm like, no, you don't understand. There was this dragonfly. I sat down in the grass and I was staring at. I can see the grass breathing.
Facts.
I can feel the grass's consciousness.
It is. Yep.
Yes. And the trees, I can feel their consciousness. I can feel their care. I can feel, but when the dragonfly came, and I say the best way to describe it is when you see a dragonfly naturally, it's very quick sudden movements from here to there,
Aggressive.
there to there.
Yeah.
A good word for it. Very aggressive, and then they land. This dragonfly, I'm sure, without that frequency, was doing that, but I saw it literally the way I'm looking at you. Like, this thing just sat down and was so curious about me, and he was sitting there, and I was like, oh my God, he's totally checking, and I'm checking him out, and we're trying to understand each other. And even when he was moving, he was really just. It was like someone getting up, moving to another chair, sitting down,
Nice.
and then leaning in. Like, so what's your deal? I'm like, well, I'm here for a bachelor party. And, we took these, like, wow, that's interesting. Very interesting.
That's literally.
All right, well, I gotta go.
Yeah, that's literally.
It was.
I wanted the same thing. I took mushrooms. It was some silver tips. Somebody I worked with, and I don't do that stuff. I'm almost a pussy when it comes to drugs. I don't want to be out of control. I don't want to die young.
So same.
I'm weak, like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, God has guided me. You definitely need spiritual guidance with this stuff. I took mushrooms. I took like an eighth of it. And it was the most beautiful experience I've ever had in my life. It was scary, but it also taught me that I am the creator of my life. The emotions that I feel, whether you perceive it to be is good or positive, good or negative, there's no such thing. It's just the way you perceive that energy.
Right.
So that's what mushrooms taught me. I control my life. I control the way I perceive life, the frequencies and everything. It was a tool. And that's what my mentor taught me. It's a tool. All of these things are tools to get you to the mountaintop, but then you stop taking it when you get to that mountaintop.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to keep flying.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
You don't need it. So do you struggle with having that knowledge, knowing that existence, being in today's society, trying to get by?
I can answer it perfectly with what I'm going through now, as far as my wife and my kids. Yeah, that's the part that I struggle with. Do I care honestly, egotistically, arrogantly that out of 10 billion people we're not on the same page? No, we're all different, and we all think I don't care. Right. I think that's beautiful. But when it comes down to 2 + 2 is 4, and you're having someone go, it's 3.5, I can't do it with you. It goddamn drives me nuts. I can't do it with anybody. I don't mind anyone has an opinion. We're all treated equal. Treat me like a sure. But when we get non-emotional, 2 + 2 is 4. And if you can't do that simple math, that shit drives me crazy.
Drives me crazy too. And I know you're going through some stuff. I saw a video, which I didn't know.
No worries.
And yeah, we could talk off air if you ever wanted to talk, man. I consider myself a marriage warrior, and it's not easy. Now you can imagine how I feel, and my wife. Yeah, we won't get into it.
I love that you talk about your wife, and I love that you're married. I would never advocate for anybody to be divorced, and I don't unless there's mental abuse or physical abuse that needs to be addressed. Other than that, I am for it, and that's the reason I got married.
Yeah, same. And I always said, like, I never wanted to break a family up, only because I came from my parents were a whole different set of animals. They were older than they were World War II vet. They were from World War II era. Everyone thought it was my grandparents. Like, no, it's my parents. But we had but my brothers and sisters, I was close. And then, brother dies, and 3 really good kids now spiral out of control. Yeah. And then, this one gets divorced. It's a vicious divorce. And I see at least 2 of them and these are like my brothers and sisters. And then another divorce. And I see the effects of a broken home, or not having a solid father, not having even a solid mother. The effects that has is just, it is so
instrumental.
Oh.
It's irreversible, and only thing you can do is continue to heal and move on. But it's irreversible. I can't take away your past. You've been through some shit. I can't take away my past. I've been through some shit, and people hearing this have been through some shit. We never be able to. Yes, we may be healed and healing, but we can never take away those things. So that's the part about going through something fucked up like that and bringing your kids or your family through it, is because it's irreversible. Right. And I would get angry, and I'd understand other people, and they're like, you don't understand. I tried everything. And I say, everything? You tried everything?
I don't know if you tried everything, bro. I think you tried everything that your ego will allow and your
and that's where I'm with you.
pride.
And I had a mentor. He recently passed away, and he was 66. I'm 33, and he was everything to me in regards to that. Anytime I ever had a problem with anybody in relations, he was my mentor. He's my sifu. I talked to him. It was always about love. It was always about guidance. It was always about people are playing out their movies. We're all films. We're all movies. We're playing out. We're all books. And sometimes you don't need to take that book so personally. Someone's just telling their story, maybe fucked up, and maybe beautiful. It's however you perceive it. But that's what I miss that part and that aspect. That's what this society needs, is that village. We used to have people that used to be there for us. When you, Jim, which you're a normal human being, right? So you're gonna get into a fight with your wife. Your wife might fight with you, and it's not about being physical. It's about that's what human beings do. But sometimes there comes a line where you guys get too passionate and you can't see eye to eye. But then a village hears you and they step in and intervene and go, you know what, Jim, or your wife, what's her name?
D.
What is it?
D, like the letter. D.
E.
D.
D. Okay. Or Jim or
Diana.
Or
Diana.
D, or D is acting like this. No, we can't do that. Then here's how we're going to correct that. And then you guys, this is how we work it out. But that we always had a village. We always had a family. It wasn't just about your bloodline or my blood. No, it's a village. If you talk, if you're yelling and the village hears you, what, you guys okay? Do you need what's going on? But we don't have that. And that's what the people in power have done perfectly. They've taken it out, and now we're left to deal with everything alone. So it hurts. It's hard. It's hard to have a fight with somebody and know you have to be the healer and the one that's fighting. You need some guidance.
Oh my. Woo! You're not kidding, brother. That is the you got that right. And I was told, it's very interesting. All my closest friends, none of them are divorced.
I love that.
And and it's mind-boggling to me. It's just, but like you said, Sasha, is whenever I have an issue, I go to them and I tell people, if you're going to get married, you can't call the people that says, screw that bitch. You know, you don't deserve that. She's a psycho. You know, fuck her, man. She's fucking, you need the one to go, all right, now let's be honest about some things here, Jim. And then that is the village. That is the family.
And that's reality. And that's what I'm saying. A guy sometimes, maybe a lot of the time, we act like we know what's going on. We got it all going on. And sometimes it doesn't matter if it's another man or a woman putting us in our place. But an elder, dude, you listening to yourself? Do you need a minute? Like, do you hear this, right? This is so dysfunctional. Like, how would you expect her to operate with this type of energy, right? And the same thing goes on her part. She may do the same thing in a female way. Maybe whatever females may pay, I don't want to offend anybody, whatever females may possibly do or tend to do rather than what men will do, right? Okay. But it's always about taking responsibility and understanding that. And that like you said, I love that you said that. Not calling those toxic people that are already in your corner you wanted to leave? Yes, I've been waiting. Come on. We've been telling you, leave. And then you get into a fight and they tell you, leave. But if you have that true wisdom, then they tell you, what were you doing also? What were you doing to partake in this? It takes two to tango.
Correct. God, we can talk for hours. So,
dude, ask me other stuff that you want about that spiritual stuff, bro. Why you have me? I'm serious. Ask me that stuff that you want to know. Seriously.
Well, a lot of it, I'm on the same page as you with the religion, and I'm all about where religion was. But what I'll go into this. Let's play a video, and again, we can always edit if you're like, dude, don't play that. Let's play the next video, Mike, if we can hear it.
Is this Mike, the guy that works with? No, go ahead, play this.
Yeah, this one. I want to see.
Glory be to God. I don't feel like I was really clear with all this stuff, so YouTube in the bio where I'm less censored. We're going to be talking about microchips above the eyebrow ridge, tuning in and out personalities, MK Ultra. That's Mike Tyson. Notice the gap in the teeth. This is Bilal Phillips, a Muslim preacher. Notice the gap in the teeth. I'm not by any means always saying they're the same exacts, but I 100% guarantee you this is all the same stuff. Notice his eye. This is all very rigged. The same dude who was in The Hangover, as you see here, and this is Justin Bieber. They're all connected, each and every single one of them.
Black Eye Club.
No, it's not photoshopped. None of that. They're just finding creative ways to get hit, like a UFC movie or something like that.
So this was interesting to me because before I saw the Black Eye Club, and there's a lot of people in the Black Eye Club. And some people who don't understand what we're talking about, that's fine. That's for you to go figure out. It's right along the same line of the symbols, the covering the eye. It's just it's a different ceremony to get into their club. A lot of your politicians, Mitch McConnell had a nice black eye a couple of years ago. You're saying, or I shouldn't say you're saying, what I got out of you was you think it was a chip?
So there's a $1 trillion facility. There's an MK Ultra facility. Don't ask me where it is. It's a $1 trillion facility. These people go in, they sign on documents, they volunteer. It's nothing. Everything is protected from these people in power. They sign right there. They go into a facility. They tie them brain up literally to machines and cords. They force feed their brain trauma. The brain is able to withstand 4 levels of trauma in regards until it shatters. 4 personalities they can obtain onto 1 microchip. They get surgery above the eyebrow ridge, and they get an actual microchip above the eyebrow ridge, and it gets inserted into them. The people in power tune in and out their frequencies whenever necessary.
So that would be like Katy Perry, that one performance. Do you know what I'm talking about?
And there's Eminem and when they're all, those are literal robotic. They're not robots.
And she couldn't help
it.
She couldn't help it.
There's robotic parts inside of them that is being controlled physically. And that's why there's nanoparticles in everything, from the chemtrails to the food and the water we consume.
All right. Where do you think the change for because when you see the chemtrails and you see when you start to discover the covering the eye, the tongue sticking out, the black eye. I was under the impression the black eye was the something like adrenochrome.
It all has to. That's my whole point, though. There are so many levels to this, and you can not put this out there if you don't want to. It's your stuff, but they get in the ass, Jim.
Yes. And the panda eyes.
And that's why the eyes come forward like that. They're getting ripped in the ass. And there's a vagus nerve. We are a vagus tree, but the vagus nerve gets pierced and it shines the right side of their hemisphere up. So that's why kids are getting enlightened literally at an early age. They're literally getting enlightened through.
Wow. And that I've heard multiple times. And
in Greece culture, that was a normal thing. You can look it up on regular Google. They had, in Greece culture, you had older men who would take on younger boys as they would look up to them like, you're my hero, you're my wisdom warrior, you're my mentor. And it's all just public knowledge. And that's why Tom Hanks is a Greek citizen. They are able to take young boys under them and rape them and have sex with them, and that's what they're supposed to, that's what they do. That's how that's the relationship between, and they don't even like women. If you look it up in Greece culture, when I'm specifically about this, they don't take women really. They take young boys, and they get men who take them.
Which that is the see, then when I think of that, because yes, it's the boys. That's what blows my mind. Then I think of certain biblical things. Like, I don't understand the Bible. I do and I don't. I don't read it and I don't understand it. Or I do understand it. I just don't. If I had a gun to my head, like, tell me, I'm done. I'm out. You're going to shoot me because I'm not going to be able to answer anything. I even believe, like, my wife and I go back and forth with all this stuff, and I don't know where I'm going. I'm like all over the place.
You're okay.
Now.
I don't care.
I don't care. Where she's like, it was scripture. It was written. I said, I understand it was written. I don't care if it was written last week or 400 million years ago. Somebody wrote it. God wrote it. No, he didn't. A person.
It's called scripture, scripted literature. You're done right there.
Right. I'm going to write this. And if I write a story, and I'm not, some of the stories are incredible. They're absolutely, they great stories. Some I'm like, it doesn't even matter. The damn it, where was I going with this? The Black Eye Club, the thing.
We were talking about we were
God.
talking about the Grease and the way that they take the boys, the men, and maybe
right. Like, why?
listen, maybe I can take it from here.
Oh, the sun. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, for instance, Metallica. I got into Metallica, Creeping Death, which is basically he talks about now the negotiating, and during negotiation, we're gonna kill the firstborn son. Which now brings me to: are we in like are people living these bizarre biblical things where like we get I shouldn't say this. I don't know this for a fact, pure entertainment, but a lot of females you think are females are actually boys because that's how they had to join the club.
Listen,
You
the reason
take the firstborn son. Yes.
all conspiracy, all bullshit aside, it's as simple as this, dude. This may not be taken out of context. A gay man, typically the ones in power, they do not feel affinity for women or female. That's why they're in power. If a man who has affinity for a woman, likes a big butt, likes voluptuous breasts, like the curves, he's genuinely attracted to a woman like we've been designed to be. If they are attracted to a woman, which means they would have sympathy for a woman and a child. So if I can get men who are not all men, this is why I say don't take it out of context. You may have most men who are ruthless, egotistical maniacs. They're monsters. They just do what they want to do. So that's why if they can get females to be men, then what are they really doing? They're being men. They're not female anymore. So if I can get,
right.
Basically my whole point is everybody in power is what? Man. That's why. Because if I had a female in power, a genuine, not a female that looks like a female that's a male.
A genuine right.
female in power, they would change the tides of society yesterday. Yes, today.
Wow, that's fascinating. I never really thought about that. Years ago, I would joke about it, or many people would joke about it as well, where like, oh, because of their menstrual cycle, there'll be more wars and blah, blah, blah. But you bring up an interesting point where a real female that conceives a child, their heart and their connection with that spirit runs so much deeper, not only just for them, but they can see the child in almost everyone. That's how I feel. I'm very compassionate, or I feel I am. Since a young boy.
We can be in tune as men. We can be in tune with what is already there, but they have already been existed in that realm. We are tuning into that realm. And females that are, like you said, I can see at an early age, they're already in tune with that.
Right.
We can tune into it, but they already naturally there.
Yes. All right. So the end game, if you were to just, I've been saying on stage, and I used to be afraid, but I started putting out there, I would love to see no more governments. Bob Marley once said, all governments are illegal. And he was I thought that was an extremely powerful thing to say, because the tribal human being, even the way I grew up, is it perfect? No. But we all looked after each other, and we all did the very best we could for one another. You're always going to have whatever.
Those tribes still exist.
I know they do.
And
they're doing their best to destroy them.
But here's the point to it. We'll never go back to that, Jim. It's unfortunate.
No, I know.
But that's the reality. There's a new earth being birthed. It's already here. There's all that spiritual stuff, all that foo-foo. Yes, that is all real. The reality that we live in down here is like, and I used to talk with my mentor all the time. Hey, how do I defeat the beast? He said, you can't. You can't defeat the beast. The beast is the capitalistic system it has enough momentum at this point to do wherever it goes, get the out of its way. And that's what I suggest with everybody. I had this hero mentality, and I still am that hero, but I have this hero mentality where I can save the whole. No. At the end of the day, the capitalistic system, it's the bull. And this bull, you get the out of its way, where if it's coming at you, you want to die, stand there. But this is the bull. And I suggest mankind get out of its way, and that's where we'll find our peace. Just move where the bull isn't. But that's the life we live in, and it's unfortunate because No matter how big we get, they're going to continue doing what they're doing. If we say no government and we have our own tribes, like you said, the tribes that are still existent now are barely hanging on, and there's outside influences at any moment that are going to take away that. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, no. It's just a matter of time. You know what? That's something that I thought about recently too. I'm like, just stay out of its way, and you can tap out, and you can live your own life.
Facts.
And there are ways to just keep maneuvering and moving along and stay out of its way. It's just frustrating because you know it's not coming from a beautiful, spiritual, godly place. You know it's coming from, as I would say, pure demonic, pure evil, pure satanic.
Now listen,
and it's reckless.
God would
Yes.
never create something that would ever be. There's no such thing as evil or good. God would never create something that would ruin God's own image or God's own creation. So everything that we are going through now literally is a test. You live in an illusion. This is time to illustrate, like we told you about the demons, demon straight, to go inside so deep that everything just becomes a blur of reality, and you are that reality. This is the life that we're tuning into. So yes, there's hell on earth, literally. You know it from Palestine, in Israel. You know it in Afghanistan, in Congo, in China. There's so much stuff going on all around the world. There's kids being raped. There's in NFL stadiums at the bottom. It goes on for days. At the same exact time, we are living in heaven. I'm able to connect with you, Jim. We can do what we're doing. I live my life. I'm happy. I wake up every day. It's chocolate on the cake. This is heaven. This is hell. And only when people can identify both of those will they realize, wow, this is the greatest test of all. The life where I get to physically incarnate and no one can say, what would you have done? This is how you did it when you were here. Now it's time for people to demonstrate what they are made of. And if you guys can, and this is why I say you guys, if we can make it just tap into that power that we know is real, it's already there, then we don't need to worry about everything else. It's just about in here. Yeah. And that's it. Dying like a warrior, like my mentor told me. He had this one beautiful poem, and I don't know what it is. And he said it was just about a Native American warrior who would bang on his chest when it was time to die, like the beating of the drum. He wasn't scared. Wow. He was ready to die. And that's it. That's it. So what real men do. That's what we're here to do. We know we're going to die. Let's bang on our chest and let's wait what happens. I'm ready.
You're right. We're on borrowed time. Hey man, this was a pleasure. I'm so happy I got to talk with you. I really am.
I really hope we can do it again if you want.
I would love to. And I have suggestions for you that I wrote down. I noticed on one of your videos you said, hey, I'm going to be teaching one-on-one and all that jazz. I think there's something there. Well, let's see what the reaction is. If it's, I shouldn't
talk to me.
What the reaction is.
What do you got?
I think you can easily stream a class for multiple people, and really, like you could take your time. Like you said, the people you mentioned, I keep forgetting, but we'll have it. I'll remember it by the time we're done. You go, I'm going to give you homework. Boom, we're just going to learn these 2 things this week. You come back next week. And the ones that want to learn are going to come back and keep coming back. I will be one of them. But I do think you have a possibility to earn a living, because you said you wanted one-on-one and 1 hour, where if there's 10, 15 people, and we're all paying XYZ to zoom in for the 1 hour, 2 hour, you're doing what you love.
Right.
And now you got multiple people. And that, just a suggestion. I have no clue how that works.
I appreciate that. I have something for you too. I really appreciate that, Jim. Couple things for you, man. I'm blown away. A couple of things, dude. You're very talented. When I looked into you, I was looking into some of your stuff. I was happy to know I was going to be on a show with someone who actually had charisma, who actually had a personality, who actually knew what it really was to be that old school New York fucking, that, you know what I'm saying? The entertainer, the everything, not just reading a joke. So sure. I want you to know that I see you, man. I'm very honored. I also noticed, I didn't expect this. Maybe I was judgmental, or I don't know, but I really appreciate hearing you talk about your wife and your spirituality and just being honest with me. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. But to hear you
Right.
and to hear where you come from and to hear you about talking about David, it really humbles me, truly. So I honestly thank you so much for caring, man. This was awesome for me.
No. I feel your passion, and I truly believe, especially when that's when God really, we had a serious conversation where he basically was like, "Hey, man, I want you to look at everything that you asked for, and you tell me where I missed the ball for you."
Mm.
And then as I was saying, like, "Oh my God, I want to start doing for you. I want to start serving for you, however that may be." And when I see people like you, and I even heard it, and I know you have opinions, blah, blah, blah. There was something, I had a radio show many years ago, and Rogan came on. And at that time, he went off into this huge, like, just rant. And it was all about, dude, I don't know if it was Joe or like he even realized he was doing it. It was from somewhere else. And it was all about how we are moving into the world of truth. You're either going to bring truth and honesty, or you're just a leech, and you're just a sucker of life, and we're going to start dividing that. Like, you're on this, you're a leech.
Facts.
You're on the demon world.
Facts.
You're a truth seeker. You're an emotional. You bringing light. We got you. We'll try to help you. And he goes, and there's no more patience for the other side. There's no more time for it. Your day is over. It's over. And that's how that really resonated with me. And that was one of those moments where I don't care what I've accomplished in life or any other person. Let's just be honest. Why are we pretending we're something we're not? And one of the things too is, like, I became friends with a great group. I call them my Maria's crew, and we're a coffee crew in New Jersey. And so silly and so simple. We're all out one night, and we'd constantly go out together. And what was more mind-blowing was it was all our wives, which is so hard to put together. So it'd be like 10, 12 men and all their wives, and we'd all get along. There was never, I can't take it, none of that ever. And I sat there going, and we all had different opinions, different views. This guy was all about, you need to be vaxxed 1,000 times, and I'm a Democrat, and he's into politics, and this one's into that, and this one's like, it's Trump or die. And everyone had whatever things. And I remember looking at my friend Basil, and I said, Basil, what? How do we keep this going? This is amazing. This was a village. It's a village. Nice. And he's sucking on a big bone out there. And he goes, you know why? Nobody thinks who they are. And I went, that is such a simple statement, but it's so powerful. No one comes to the table. I don't come to you and go, I don't know if you know, but I've been on television, film, and I've made some cash in my time, and not billions, but I'm somebody. I enjoy conversations where you don't know me, I don't know you, and we're just going to be honest. Facts. Because we're coming from a place that we think will help other people Facts. Out. Because you helped me out, man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Jim.
As you say, glory be to God.
Glory be to God.
Glory be to God. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
hey,
brother.
Man,
much love.
Let me get, if you're cool with it, I'd love to get your info through Mike and Margot and give you a text. And say,
dude, hell yeah.
All right. And where do you live?
I live in Cali, California. Sacramento.
Oh, Joe's going to go crazy. All right. Love to see you sometime. Take care, brother. All the best to you.
Thank you so much, man.
Later.
See ya.
Yeah. Mike.
Dude.
Dude. Now, how do you see? What do you say, Mike?
Listen, I was a little lost at first, right? You know,
I know you are.
And when you started bringing up the tree thing, which I'll put the video in and post.
Yep.
It brought me right back in, and I've been glued to the screen ever since. I mean, you guys were talking about the trips and you know the grass breathing and the dragonfly, and I'm like, dude, I've been there before. I've seen that world. I know what that frequency is, and I know I clicked, and I'm almost as excited as you are now about this whole thing.
No, I'm telling you, it's the less we have everything. If you were to just go sit by a creek for, I don't know, hours, I'm telling you, eventually, um, God, the spirits all around you, everything has a spirit. That's people don't understand. The tree, everything has a spirit. When you start tapping in all that, your vision clears and you realize how in tune we all are, but at the same time you realize how ripped apart everyone is. Just, you wake up, you're on the iPad, you're on your phone, you're on the computer, you're in your car, you listen to music, you go to your work, and then you're there, and then you come back, and then you're back on your computer, then you're going to see a bud, and you see your wife, and you never take the time to just be and tap into our spirit, which is why I believed many religions were created to also, they'll allow you to go so far, but then they ain't gonna let you, because you wouldn't need them. Once you discover it, I don't need the priest, I don't need the pastor, I don't need the book, I don't need any of that. And I know some people are gonna get mad at me for saying this, but there's also, it's a big business. And I'm sorry, when there's money involved, you may do incredible things. You may do godly things. You may be Jesus, uh, uh, Christian things, whatever whatever it is still a blockade to the real deal. I mean, even if you think about it, why do I need to stop at a door to get to God? What? What are you talking about? I'm getting them right. I'll stop right now and get them right now. I'll stop right here in front of everyone as you're walking by me. Shut my eyes. You all think I'm a freak, and I'll talk to him. He's going to give me all the answers right now as you're all walking by me. So maybe that's part of the new way, just people teaching one another or giving. You can't teach two. And a great thing that Sasha said, which I had that too. I'm like, I could save the world. I'm going to save the world. And, you know, I go to Africa. I'm like, I'm going to make the greatest documentary. And I'm going to show how life changes. And the reason why the gazelle exists is for the wildebeest. And the wildebeest is the thing. And when the elephant poops, it creates a whole new thing, knocks down a tree and creates more life. And when the poop, and then the bug comes, and then he spreads the thing, and more things grow. And like, how do you not? And you know, but then you come home like, dude, let me tell you something. The Eagles need to draft this guy. And I'm looking, okay, yeah, no, this. I'll just keep moving along. Well, I'm glad you saw some of that, because I know you guys are all confused by me, and I'm like, you don't understand. I want to talk to. How many guests have I talked to? When's the last time you saw me that engaged? I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't disrespect anyone I had on. I'm just saying that's electrifying to me. I love coming across guys like this. I love it. I can't wait to cross his path, God willing, and we hang out at one session. No taping, none of that. Just hang out. Love time with that guy. So anyway, I want to thank Sasha for coming on. And Mike, I'm glad. I know you were confused a little, but I'm glad you jumped on there, and I'm glad you got some of that.
Yeah, no, dude, it was awesome. It was really cool. I'm super pumped for you. It was an awesome episode, man. It was great.
Yeah. Cool. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, dude.
All right, man. Well, by the time you guys are watching this, I'm going to be doing this. Yes! They're playing Metal Gods! Yes! I'm going to be in Germany, crushing it to Judas Priest. God, I can't wait. All right, man. All the best to you. Hey, I got tour dates. Got a bunch of tour dates coming up. So please go to jimbreuer.com. for all the tour dates, JimBreuer.com. All the ticket links. Mike's got them all set up for you, and we'll catch up soon. Thanks for hanging on the Bruniverse.
Take a look around and what do you see? Mark the date down tonight, we're making history.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer, and I got my own Patreon page, and hopefully you'll check it out. Live comedy concerts streamed once a month. Early access to the Bruniverse podcast every single week, and have bonus footage and bonus segments. I promise you I'm not going to let you down. Go check out my official Jim Breuer Patreon page, and I'll see you there.